All right, so last week, we did a lot of stuff on fractions last week. We did simplifying fractions. We did least common denominator. On Tuesday of last week, I gave you pieces and I told you to cut them out. At least in my second class, most of them ignored me. And then all of a sudden today, they were like, what? We're supposed to have those cut out. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, okay. And then they didn't pay attention because they didn't have them cut out. But I know because Jordan's in there and you guys are cool like Jordan, that y'all had them cut out. I know you're good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our fraction pieces. So you have something similar to this. They obviously are not magnetic because I had you cut them off of paper. I suppose if you glued them to magnets, they'd be magnetic, but then they'd be pretty much useless because you don't have a magnetic thing to put them on. But anyway, we're going to use these fraction pieces here. We got 1, 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, 1/6, 1/8, 1/10, 1/12. So we got all these pieces. I don't know if you have all the same pieces or not. Sit down. I'm teaching. Then go to the kitchen and get more chips. But we're going to start and we're going to demonstrate adding 1/2 and 1/3. And as we go through this, I'm going to show you how we use some of the stuff that we did last week, that we learned. So we're going to start with, I want to know, is 1/2 plus 1/3 less than or greater than or equal to 1? So I'm going to leave my 1 out there, and then I'm going to get my 1/2 piece and my 1/3 piece, and I'm going to put them below here. So now I know 1/2 plus 1/3 is going to be less than 1 whole. That gives me a good place to start with. It's going to be less than 1 whole. Now, what I want to do is I want to find the same size pieces so that if I put them underneath here, they'll fit all underneath there and fit it exactly. So I'm just going to randomly pick the number 1/5. 1/5. And I'm going to see if I can make fifths fit underneath here exactly to equal the same amount as 1/2 plus 1/3. And as I go through, I cannot, because I got this much space here that's left, and if I put another one in there, it would be too big. So I can't use fifths. Why don't I try fourths? Now you're saying, Mr. McMurdo, there's got to be an easier way. Oh, no, fourths won't work because I need that much more of a fourth, and I don't want to put a whole other one there. You're saying there's got to be an easier way, Mr. McMurdo, than just guessing. There is, but we're going to keep guessing for right now, and we're going to go with twelfths. Oh, and I see 1/2 equals 6/12. So those are an equivalent fractions I could use. 1/2 equals 6/12. So now I know 1/2 and 6/12 are equivalent. 1/3 1/3 equals 4/12. So I have 12ths there. So if I had 6/12 plus 4/12, I get 10/12. Is that an answer to this question? It is an answer to this question. However, it's not the simplified answer to this question. Because while 12 works, also 6 works. And what we're really trying to do is build it with the least amount of pieces as we can. Well, here I can build it with 5/6. And I can see that 1/2 is 3/6. 1/2 is 3/6, and 1/3 is 2/6. And 3/6 plus 2/6 equals? Go ahead, say it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, thank you.
5/6.
5/6. So 1/2 plus 1/3 equals 5/6, but it also equals 10/12. If this were on an assignment or a test, I would mark 10/12 wrong because it is not in least, it's not in the simplified form. It's not the lowest common terms. Okay, how do I know that those are equal? Well, I can look. 5/6 is right here, and 10/12 is right here, and those two are equal. So that helps me look at it to see that they're equal. You'll have to ask your sister. I don't know how to do it. Now, I don't know the password. Go ask your sister. Now, let's say I don't want to move all these pieces and try and figure it out. Let's say I go right back to my 1/2 plus 1/3. And I don't want to know if it's 12ths or what it is. What I can do is I can take my two denominators, and like we did last week, make the least common denominator. So I can take 2 and 3, and I can list my multiples. Or I can look at my multiplication chart, and I can list the multiples. And I find the first one that's in both rows. And I see that 6 is in my least common denominator. That tells me that I can use 6's to build this. Because until they have a common denominator, I cannot add these two fractions. Now I know that 1/2, we already said equals 3/6, and 1/3 equals 2/6. Now I can add 3/6 plus 2/6. And all I'm doing is I'm changing the way it's written, not the value of it. I'm not changing the value. It's like, let's pretend I wanted to give, let's say Riley $10, and I wanted to give Jordan $10, just because I'm nice. I would throw a $10 bill at Riley, and I would take $10 in quarters, and I would throw them at Jordan really, really hard. And they would both get $10, and it'd be the same thing, right? It'd be the exact same thing. It would just be more fun for Jordan. Well, more fun for me. Maybe $10 in pennies. That'd be even more fun, Jordan. That's it. I'm giving you pennies for Christmas. $10 worth. Right at you, buddy.
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome. All right, so let's look at another one. Let's take the problem. Let's do 3/5 plus 1/2. Three-fifths plus 1/2. Now I would take 3 of my 5s. I got my 3/5 right here. 1, 2, 3. And my 1/2. Boom! Now this shows me my answer is going to be greater than 1. Now all I really have to do at this point is I have to find a piece that fits in here. And because I'm smart, and I've done this twice already, 3/5 plus 1/2 is the same as 1 and 1/10. 3/5, 1/2 is the same as 1 and 1/10. Well, how do you get there mathematically, Mr. McMurdo? Well, when I'm doing fractions, I always write them vertically. And I need to find my common denominator. A penny launcher, yes. My common denominator for 5 and 2. And I can list my multiples. Or I can look at my multiples on my multiplication chart. And I'm going to find that the first thing they have in common is 10. The first thing they have in common is 10. Are you looking for these?
Yeah.
So now I need to find out 3/5 equals how many tenths. And I can do that with my pieces. If I know that 1/5 equals 2/10, that means 3/5 would equal 6/10. 1/2 would equal 5/10. And now I can add those together. 6/10 plus 5/10 is 11/10. And as we've already proven, 11/10 is the same as 1 and 1/10. Camden.
When 11/10 is equal to 1 and 1/10.
Yep. Very good. Very good. Let's look at another one. Oh, let's look at another one. 3/4 plus 1/3. 3/4 plus 1/3. There's 1/4. 2/4. 3/4 plus 1/3. Oh, boom. It's going to be bigger than 1 also. So it's going to be 1 and something. So I know my answer is going to be 1 and then have a fraction. But now I need to figure out what my common denominator for 3 and 4 would be. If we look at a multiplication chart, look down your 3 row, look down your 4 row, the first number they're going to have in common is what? Anyone? Bueller? Say it. Call it out. Come on. Let me hear it.
12.
12. So these are going to both equal to 12. Now, I got to figure out how many 3/4 equals how many 12s. Well, I can take my 12 pieces, and if 1/4 equals 3/12, then 3/4 would equal, Bueller, anyone?
3/12.
9/12, good.
3/12.
And
No, 9/12.
yeah, 3/4 is 9/12. 1/3 is how many 12s?
3.
No. 4. 1/3 is 4/12. 1/3 is 4/12. Now I can add these. What's 9/12 plus 4/12?
13/12.
13/12.
Which is equal to 1 and 1 12th.
Very good. 1 and 1/12. 1 and 1/12. How many of you do not yet have these things cut out and in a bag and ready to be used? Is there a lot of you that don't have them cut out? Okay. If you're at home, you also have. Okay. If you're at home, you also have access to that that website that was posted on December 1st. You can use that as well. We're about to start Flex, so I'm going to let you flex, and then when we come back from Flex, we're going to go ahead and go over some more of these problems. I'm going to give you some to try on your own. All right? Behave yourselves. Jordan?
What do I do?